There was a man who lived in the 14th century. He was so rich that when he traveled to another country, he could unintentionally destroy its economy. Kings talked about him. Merchants talked about his wealth for years. And even today, historians say, he might be the richest person in human history. His name was Mansa Musa. But what truly makes his story incredible is not just his wealth, it's how he used it. The rise of a golden empire. To understand Mansa Musa, we first need to understand the empire he ruled. In the 1300s, one of the most powerful states in the world existed in West Africa, the Mali Empire. His empire controlled the major trade routes between North Africa and the inner regions of Africa, but the true source of its power wasn't trade, it was gold. At that time, gold was one of the most valuable resources in the world. Kingdoms fought wars over it, and the Mali Empire controlled many of the largest gold mines on Earth. Some historians believe that nearly half of the world's gold supply at the time came from this region. And that meant one thing: whoever ruled Mali controlled unimaginable wealth. The man behind the throne, Mansa Musa, became the ruler of the Mali Empire in 1312. He wasn't just a warrior king. He was also a devout leader, a skilled diplomat, and someone who placed great importance on education. But what made him legendary in history was, of course, his gold. Modern economists have tried to estimate his wealth. According to some estimates, his fortune could be worth more than $400 billion in today's money. That would make him richer than many modern billionaires. Jeff Bezos. He may have been richer than them, but the world truly realized how rich he was after a single journey, the legendary journey. In 1324, Mansa Musa decided to travel to Mecca for a pilgrimage. In Islam, this journey is known as Hajj, but Mansa Musa's journey was far from ordinary. It was one of the greatest displays of wealth the world had ever seen. His caravan reportedly included 60,000 people, thousands of soldiers and servants, hundreds of camels. Each camel carried around 100 kilograms of gold. Just stop for a moment and imagine it. A caravan stretching for miles across the desert, thousands of people, camels loaded with gold, royal guards, and in the middle of it all, a king. Wealth that shook an economy. As Mansa Musa traveled through North Africa, he stopped in one of the most important cities of the time, Cairo, and something extraordinary happened there. Mansa Musa was known for his generosity. Wherever he went, he gave gold to the poor, merchants, and local leaders. At first, everyone admired his generosity. But then something unexpected happened. Suddenly, an enormous amount of gold appeared in the city. In economics, when something becomes too abundant, its value drops. And that's exactly what happened. Historians say the gold Mansa Musa distributed in Cairo caused the value of gold to fall. Prices dropped. Trade became unstable. According to some sources, it took more than 10 years for Cairo's economy to recover. All because of the generosity of one king. The world discovers him. Before this journey, much of the world knew almost nothing about West Africa. But after Mansa Musa's pilgrimage, stories about his wealth spread across the world. European mapmakers even began placing him on their maps. On a map created in 1375, Mansa Musa was depicted as a king holding a golden orb. To Europeans, he became almost a mythical figure, a king from a distant land, surrounded by gold. Timbuktu and the rise of knowledge. But Mansa Musa was not just a ruler who distributed gold. He also invested heavily in culture and education. He built mosques, schools, and libraries throughout his empire. One of the most famous places was the city of Timbuktu. Timbuktu quickly became one of the most important centers of knowledge in the world. Scholars from across Africa and the Middle East traveled there. Science, mathematics, religion, and philosophy were taught in the city. Its libraries held hundreds of thousands of manuscripts. At a time when many European universities had not even been established yet, Timbuktu had already become a major intellectual center. The richest man in history? So was Mansa Musa truly the richest person in history? It's difficult to say for certain. Comparing wealth across different eras is never easy. But many historians believe his fortune was so vast that it cannot even be properly compared to modern billionaires. Because his wealth wasn't just gold. It included land, trade routes, and control over the world's most valuable resource of that era. Conclusion: Mansa Musa was not just a king. He was one of the wealthiest rulers the world had ever seen. His generosity could shake entire economies. His investments could turn cities into centers of knowledge. And centuries later, historians are still talking about his story. Even today, when people discuss the richest individuals in human history, one name still appears at the very top: Mansa Musa, perhaps the richest man who ever lived.